Hello guys, I'm right here, back from our video, and the cabin I'm inside, it's actually the Boeing 747 located inside the Hiller Aviation Museum. So, here's the entire tour, and hope you may enjoy. Okay, so this is the building here. This is the Hiller Aviation Museum, and this is a very amazing museum here to see. It's kind of like the airplane museum here in San Francisco, although it's located in San Carlos. An older area of when Pan American World Airways, actually have their airport here. This is pretty amazing to have this memorable area here. This is a Philippine Center for Maritime M130 NC 14715, November 4th, 1935 to January 21st, 1943. This is very cool. They have an entire shelf of these model planes that you can actually buy, but if you want to buy these, they cost around $81 if you're taking a look at this Pan Am 747. But for this Air Force One model by 747, this thing costs around kind of like 37 bucks or 40 actually. Some of these collectibles are really amazing, and some of these are very rare. People with $100 could definitely buy one of these, even though they're airplane collectors or aviation fans. He says scale model planes here. As you may know, you may take a look at my Space Battleship Yamato video, but these are very cool. They even have the Gemini model of the Gemini aircraft, and they have different types, including a F-35 and that Boeing 747. This here is actually the an actual nose of the 747. It's actually painted into Pan Am. It's actually the airline which first flies the Boeing 747. And these are the Pratt & Whitney engines they actually use. These are very big. And originally they actually have some used to be an entire aircraft, but I think due to budget cuts, they actually have to just lower the entire engine. And I think due to the budget cuts, the same thing, they should have chopped up the entire 747, leaving only 75% of it. But still, the Pan Am delivery looks very good. We're about to go into the 747, like this aircraft you're seeing here. And this is amazing. This is actually the entire 747, including we're seeing the SOFIA, the observatory Boeing 747 using a 747 SP, a smaller version of the 747 with a telescope attachment. And this is actually the first Boeing 747, the 747-100 type. And this is actually the aircraft that you brought. It's actually a British Airlines Boeing 747. And I think due to budget cuts, to make sure they save the museum, they must scrap the entire 747. And this is the Pan Am version of the 747. So the 747 here was actually founded in New Mexico, and they actually took part of the 747 apart, and they actually had to just do some modifications. Only 90% of 747 is scrapped, leaving 10% of it, including those remaining. But looks cool. You have to just store all their materials in place. Mostly all the food gallery is where they house their coffee cells. Everything there. Hey, it looks like we're coming up to the top deck. Very cool. So this is the top deck of the entire 747. Comparison between the 747-100 to the 400 type aircrafts. And right there, they have a lot of instruments and stuff, and how the gauges to stabilize the aircraft. All the 747-400 or 800 aircrafts, they have all these digital screens and stuff. This is the cockpit of the 747. There are mostly a lot of switching and gauges. This is a 747-100, and we have some of the thruster controls. We'll see everything. The steering wheel is like an aircraft of the 747-100. There's actually the things that you use to control the rudder and hard steer and pull-ups. And the gauges right there, they help you stabilize the aircraft, and including their speed, the crew, the touchdown, switches, and thrusters. This is like the 747, and this is the gear. It's hard for me to pull down.
I don't think they probably don't even let you touch that.
Yeah.
They probably made it stationary.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they don't actually have. I'm sorry. You'll have to ask him. It's his. Oh.
But that is the 7. But this is the 747. This here is actually where the team here will just measure and check all the aircraft designs and to make sure it functions. This is actually a lot of switches when you're to control yourself with the 747.
Okay, let's go.
This is likely the Cessna 177B Cardinal, and this one here is actually a propeller type. Even this is a small airport, but this is likely the whole entire area of an airport. And right here is actually where people can actually go outside and look at the planes while some of the planes take off. Very amazing. Well, I don't think so we can see any aircraft landing or taking off. But in the meantime, through the video, we may see some aircraft taking off, or you may hear them. Like that one you're seeing. Sorry the blurriness, but this is very cool. There we go! God damn it. Now I've seen one of them. Just coming in for a landing.
Maybe the guy's not going to take off because he's waiting for us to land.
Yeah. All right, 10 feet, 5 feet, and touch. Oh, it's a touchdown. That was a touchdown. There goes one. Got it. Got it. Over here is usually for kids, but comparing that to the 747, we try to put it somewhere maybe like around this long, but it'll need a lot more thrust for the 747 to go swinging into the skies like those small biplanes you see. The Wright Brothers aircraft. This is what got all started, and this one's a full replica of the entire aircraft. However, the real one was destroyed. But you go to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, there is actually the copy of the original Wright Brothers, and they actually use older and usable pieces of the original aircraft. Very cool. Daladan T1 Arlog, and mostly this one look like almost destroyed, but it is still preservable even though it could be fixed. And you see there's actually 2 paper airplanes stuck inside the engines. Oh my god, we should definitely fix that thing.
By space, they mean right, they hit the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just got to the top.
This thing here is actually Spaceship One from Paul G. Allen. This project was actually from Virgin Airlines, and it was one of the first civilian aircraft to have flown into space. Very cool, actually. Yeah, that's true. And very cool to me. They do some modifications that he put on the straddle launcher. After that, it was taken off and launched using a thruster. And it proved successfully. Comparing to the Wright Brothers, it's their first aircraft actually, and it's pretty cool. This here is a replica of the boys' living room during World War II, and they actually have a lot of stuff there, like a bunch of seaplanes, a model ship, and a bunch of scale model aircrafts, including the one that looks like the Constitution. This is actually all types of model planes that we even create. For my 747 here, it came in solid pieces, all together. Well, the wings had to be put in separately. But there's a B-2 bomber. It looks pretty good. The Hiller's flying platform here, and this is actually looks pretty cool, even though they had to be controlled manually. If someone very stupid would try to fly this thing, it'll definitely crash. Beep. And this is mostly Almost like a bunch of helicopters. Very cool, actually. And there's some searchlights. Oh, United Helicopter Inc. This is actually the UH-4 commuter. And this is the Hiller 360 type. Obviously, there's a lot of helicopters here. And planes too. This one out here almost looks like the one of those Huey helicopters from the Vietnam War. So it's pretty cool. This here is one, the could be a civilian first type aircraft. Clearly can be used for civilians, but however, it'll take a lot more time to have this thing back operational. This is an N302VX. Very cool. And this here's another fighter jet design. Looks pretty cool. And this here is a replica of the Gemini, or of the Mercury, I think, or Gemini. And this is another Armstrong suit. You want to check out the USS Hornet video? It will be at the end. And this is the rocket and space travel, and mostly a lot. And this is the one of those things, drone pipers, where you get to fly your own drones. And this here's another civilian aircraft. This aircraft here does almost look like a V-22 Osprey, but oh, you press this button. Oh, it might lights up and move the entire aircraft around. Oh, it's a Barker Ryan Hiller XC-142. Oh, this is how they take off and land the aircraft. It will be a bit too long, but that video will show you everything and when you visit the museum. Grumman HU-16/RD. This is another aircraft which also goes through water. So I think some of it is actually used for, I think, for water takeoffs, and I think for something else, but these are mostly pretty cool. And it actually almost traveled the entire world. It actually did. This is actually a real aircraft. But still, looks pretty cool. It'll be actually a simulation of one of the first simulators digitally when flying a plane. Basically, you step on this thing, and a robot chart actually shows you wherever you want to fly to go. With some of the planes, I'll do the other half after this, but for now, we're going to be doing a simulator.
Now be careful, because you did hit the brake a little bit. You feel how fast it turned like that. So you just want to use try to push on the bottom of the pedal for the rudder, and push on the top of the pedal for the brakes. Alright, okay? We're going to take off now. You ready?
Right.
Okay, so go ahead and give me full power. We're going to keep the airplane on the runway, and then wait until about 55.
And on. Okay, so
Now roll a little bit. Roll. We're waiting for 55 over here. This is our airspeed. Yeah. There you go. Good job. You're at 50 and 55. Gently pull back. Gently. Oops. You're good. Yeah, so you see, when we pull up too much, we need our speed to be up, right? So the reason why I like to keep it around this shallow angle is because that speed to climb it is around 74. So if we can be around that speed, that's the best. I'm sorry? Remember, we got to intercept this heading, so about 185. Let's start bringing it back to the left. Bring the yoke back to the left so that we can roll out of this turn. And then we'll straighten it out.
what's that sound?
That sound is just telling us that we're 1,000 feet away from our cruise altitude every second. Not so. Remember, when we're climbing, we don't want to push it up too much.
Oh yeah.
So we're just gonna keep it here. When we have it climbing like this, it'll just keep coming up by itself. It wants to go up. Just we don't want to limit that by.
We're totally a bit too much, I think.
No, we're good. As long as you're within this 10, that's good.
That was good.
Yeah, let's go 20. We'll go back to 200. Alright, now when we reach 2,500, I want you to let that nose just kind of come back down and we'll kind of be parallel with the ground. Alright, so now we can go ahead and push the nose down. A little bit more. See this big white white line, that's what you want. There you go. And now you can just... Yeah, a little bit over, it's fine. You can fix that, just push the nose down a little bit more. And then now we can straighten it out. Now back left. There you go. And don't be afraid of the yoke. Just treat it with respect, okay? So you can do about this much. You don't want to go like all the way out here, just because then that's a little bit much, right?
Yeah,
that's a little
yeah.
bit much. So just around here is a good rate where it's not too much. It's easily for us to understand, and it's not too strong to scare us, but it's also fast enough that we can have things happen. We'll kind of push those down a little bit more too. Let's get rid of the wind. Now we'll go a little too quick. This is about as much bank as we need. Just slowly turn to the runway. Do you have any questions on landing before we do?
Do we have any prayers before we land?
You could say like, I wish to survive and everything, but you'll do fine. You'll do
Well,
fine.
hopefully it doesn't land like a space shuttle like I did.
You'll be fine. We'll make sure that this is the one you walk away from.
Good idea.
Okay.
All right.
Now we'll just kind of
Steady,
straighten out.
200.
All right. Now we'll just gently get that nose up just so that it's facing
Okay,
the numbers.
100.
You got it, bud. Go ahead and gently pull back on the yoke. Nice. Get it to
100.
just float above the runway. Start looking outside, get it to float a little bit, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, and there's your landing.
Woo!
Okay, and then you can go ahead and hit both brakes at the same time. Remember the both on those both pedals. There you go. You got it. And that's our session. You did a good job, man.
Thanks.
That's great.
This here is quietly another part of the simulation. Over the one down there, it's for everyone that could allow to fly. But this is Flight Sim Zone, like Microsoft Flight Simulator. Quietly, but this is quietly pretty good. Also, these model planes. This here is a Boeing 737. And this is what the inside really looks like. Very cool from the inside in here.
737.
Yeah. It's quietly air traffic control, likely an older version of it. And quietly, all you had to do was to just click the aircraft and select where you want to go. Uh-oh, it's on contact with another aircraft. This aircraft must turn right there, or this aircraft must turn hard about. If contact, then it'll be a crash. And definitely it's gonna be a little close. And whew, it's close. Very close. I don't know if it's right here, but it's actually a Predator drone. Quietly used for basic attacks, scoutings, and everything else. I don't know they have one of these. This here is quietly the runway version of how would a plane would land. And that there's the Qantas Boeing 747, Spirit of Australia. And that there looks like an Airbus, I think. Yeah, an Airbus A320, I think. It's luckily a bottle rocket launcher. It uses air pressure to pump the air in, and once it gets to maximum height, fire in the hole! Luckily the panoramics of it. And this shows the Clippers, an aircraft they must have used in the past. Look at this Pan Am World Airways. And all the fine dining and everything. They used to have San Francisco. Unfortunately, it's been bankrupt after the multiple fuel costs and also a flight 103, a bombing. And Pan Am's no longer there, but in 2025, somewhere by June or July, they actually reborn itself as a charter flight. Another thing you can do, parachuters. Basically, where's the... Oh, right. You need to attach it right here and make it go up. It's going up. All right, ready? Thumbs away. Nice. There's actually another drone simulation. Let's see you drive all the way to the battleship, Missouri. Currently like a 1970 national champions racer. Very cool. Very speedy too. I don't know, it looks like a Spitfire, but it looks pretty cool. Very, this here is likely a helicopter simulator, but more likely it looks pretty cool. This is a Hiller J. This here is a Hiller J20, I think. I think this one must be it. Yeah, it's a one of these helicopters. First made designs. Let's see if I can try to fly one of these. However, I won't show the footage. We've seen some more aircraft that we're seeing. And so this one looks like a replica of the Red Baron. Actually, a lot of model planes here. Pretty huge. Mostly from the France and the Germans. But that's pretty nice. Yeah. Hall and Scott A/5A. This is a very good engine here. Earlier plane design.
1917.
Whoa! This thing is almost like 100 years old.
Over 100 years old.
I see. A lot of stuff here. Lots of Legos and some books here. You want to read more about these planes. They also have these models, including the B-25 bomber here. You want to check out the video on my channel. It's the USS Hornet video. It's when I actually take a look inside the USS Hornet ship, and it's where they actually have the B-25 bomber, also their F-14 Tomcat. A lot of these model planes here, but maybe I could try to buy this Pan Am 747. Looks good. Before we end the video, let's compare the 747 that we've seen to the 747 I seen at Seattle a year ago at the Museum of Flight. They're gonna close pretty soon. I'm gonna stop by to see the 747 one last time. This will be the last time before. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna leave. Alright, that's the end of our tour at the Hiller Aviation Museum. I'll continue more on the road trip to Yosemite, Crater Lake, and Lansing National Park with the Redwoods and the Crater Lake next. Also Lansing National Park. So if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notification bell to stay tuned for more videos. And I'll see you in the future. Bye. A big thank you to the Hiller Aviation Museum employees for letting me try out their simulator. Also, thanks for my aunt for helping me with the camera for the simulator. And yeah.